Welcome back to DBL. It is time for Fifth Host when we talk about what you're talking about. Well, the president's controversial decision to invite Taliban to the U.S. for peace talks has been canceled. The meeting was to take place at Camp David, marking the upcoming 18th anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. But after a Taliban admitted to a recent bombing, claiming the lives of 16 people, including a U.S. soldier, Trump pulled out, siding with those who argued that the terrorist group has made no effort towards peace. So DBL Nation, should members of the Taliban be allowed in the U.S. for peace talks? Take it away.
All right, Sam, let's do this. Jamie from Facebook says, what would Republicans have done if President Barack Obama had invited the Taliban to Camp David days before the 18th anniversary of 9/11? Well, Jamie, they already accused him of being a terrorist, so that would have probably just further corroborated what they already think. I think we both know it wouldn't have been good, and I think for once, I think the president listened to his advisors and just realized that this was a bad idea. This is a bad look, and you know, when he does something right or something I agree with, I'll give it up, and I'm glad he didn't do this. This would have made our country look very, it would have been embarrassing and a slap in the face to those that died that day.
Autumn from Facebook says, we could be seeing growth from Trump. He actually admitted that this was a bad idea. Autumn, that's one way to look at it. I just question how we're inviting members of the Taliban into our country the week of 9/11 and trying to build a wall to keep out Mexicans.
Right.
I don't understand.
There's a Muslim ban.
I don't, or the Muslim ban. I don't understand the line of thinking. I just don't.
Chris from Facebook says, well, I mean, do you want to stop a war or just keep fighting endlessly? That's the real question. Chris, it's a great point. Talks do help, and I definitely believe in them. Remember, Trump made fun of Obama when he tried to talk to Kim Jong-un or said he would talk. It's the part of negotiating with terrorists on American soil at Camp David. We don't do that as Americans. Republicans don't do that. Democrats don't do that. I would love to hear from the military to see how they feel. At this point, you could have done it at a neutral territory, and I'm all for talks, but you don't do it in a haven on the anniversary unless you're trying to be insensitive. Again, I thought the same thing. You have a Muslim ban, but you're letting the Taliban in. Doesn't look good.
No. And Christy from Facebook says, I'm not sure how to answer this other than to say negotiating with terrorists is a terrible idea. I agree, but I also know that if they were to have these peace talks and things would have gone in our way, we would have had 5,000 soldiers home.
Absolutely.
So I do understand the peace talks. I do not think it should have been at Camp David. Now, let's remember, after 9/11 in 2001, Camp David's where our president mourned. Camp David is where our president decided how he was going to combat these efforts during the attacks of 9/11. So it's just so ironic to have peace talks there with the Taliban, considering what happened in Camp David in 2001, shortly after 9/11. Very insensitive, in my opinion.
And Sam, you hit it right on the head. It's like we can still have peace talks. They just don't have to be there.
Yeah, why are they
completely
We can still have your birthday party. It just doesn't have to be in the middle of the street. We can still have the two aren't mutually
the UN arrange it, something like that, make it a global effort.
There's a myriad of options.
Yes,
Sam.
there is.
Besides Camp David, you're exactly right.
Thank you for writing in.